In order to graph piecewise functions, take a look here. H of x is defined as here's one piece, second piece, third piece, fourth piece. How do you interpret that? This right here is your y coordinate or output for when this is your x coordinate. So since they're saying graph between -2 to 2, when x is between -2 and -1, the y coordinate is going to be -1. So x is bigger than -2, which means that at -2 you cannot include that y coordinate. So when x is -2, y coordinate is -1. So -2, -1, and you are putting an open circle because that coordinate is not included. Then when x is exactly equal to -1, you also have -2, and that one is included. And all x values between this x range have this as y coordinate. So everything between here and here is going to have the same y coordinate. So that's why it's a horizontal line segment from here to here. Then when x is -1 and bigger, you have 0. And again, at -1 can't include, 0 is included, and all the points in between have the same y coordinate. So another line segment there, and you continue like that. So when x is bigger than 0 but less equals 1, y coordinate is 1. When x is bigger than 1 and less equals 2, y coordinate is 2. And again, all points in between have the same y coordinate. So this is referred to as a step function because you can see why, how the picture looks. It's a piecewise function because for this x interval you have one piece, for this x interval you have different piece, for this x interval you have different piece, and for this x interval you have different piece. Let's do another example and make sure you really understand it. So here you know when x is equal to 0, you have -2 as a coordinate. When x is 0, you have y coordinate -2. And for everything else, you have 4. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 4 cannot be there, but for everything else, you have 4, which means that it's a line passing through those 2 points, but you have a hole at 0, which is filled in right here with -2 as the y coordinate. All right, let's try another example. All right, so when x is less than 1, you have -1 y coordinate. And everything under will have also -1 coordinate. So it's going to be an array starting at 1, -1, and going left. When x is exactly equal to 1, y coordinate is 1. And when x is bigger than 1, you have -2 and up. All of those y coordinates are also going to be -2. So it will be an array starting at 1, -2, and going to the right. All right, let's take a look at another example here. When x is less than -2, y coordinate is 1. So we have -2 and 1, but not included. And for all x values less than that, you have that coordinate. So it's going to be an array starting at -2, 1, going left. And then for x greater equals 2, you have 1 as your coordinate, which is included. And so it will be an array going to the right, just like before. But now look in between x. So when x is -2, y coordinate will be -2 because the y coordinate is given by x. So -2 and -2. Okay, so once you plot the two endpoints, then you can connect. So since we're working with line, 2 points determine a line. So all you have to do is now connect those 2 points. And all the points between -2 and 2 now will have this graph y equals x. So it's the line y equals x, but only a part of it. To the left of it, you have this ray, and to the right of it, you have this ray. So that is how you can graph piecewise functions. Just have to graph each piece separately, and when you're done, you have the graph of the function.